In our place of worship for today so that we can get started. I know there's a lot of commotion, a lot going on. Or maybe not enough going on, so you guys are getting bored and talking. Guys, if we can stand with me, sing along with me so we can get started here. I promise there'll be plenty of time after church to discuss any details of anything. I always tell that to the kids that like to talk during soccer trainings. How you guys doing? Good? It's good to hear. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's prepare our hearts for a time of worship. This time that we're going to sing, praise God. Lift our voices, lift our hands. Do whatever it is that God is calling you to do. Remember, we give you that freedom. God gives you that freedom to do as He's calling you to do. I pray that being vulnerable doesn't keep you from doing so, from wondering what others might think. If there's something that is in your mind and your heart that's kind of lingering, I pray that you guys can leave that at the feet of Jesus this moment. Just simply just say, God, I just want to worship you. And this that's on my mind, this is what I'm going through right now. I don't want it to get in the way. Being able to sing right now. Being able to praise you. Because the very reason that I'm here now and alive and well is because of you. And when we have God and God is with us, we have it all. Let's not focus on the things that we may be going through right now. Not forgetting them, but let's focus on God. Focus in this time of praising Him and giving Him what He is worthy of. Do you guys believe that God is worthy of our time here, of our praise? A lot of people today feel it's worthy to watch a game. Games that is going on. It's worthy for us to take time and gather and to watch this game. But every day, my hope is that we find God worthy above all else. That He becomes our first and our first priority. So I'm going to pray. Father God, thank you so much for today. Sometimes all we need is just to take a deep breath and be still. We live in a country, state, that being busy is normal. And sitting still is awkward, weird. We don't want to do it. We don't want to face ourselves. And Father God, this morning we want to be still. We don't want to miss out on what you have in store for us. Because every time we come and gather, I truly believe it's a moment that we should not take for granted. And really come here with expectation to to know that God will move. That God will do something in our hearts. That God can do miracles here and now. Have that expectation that you'll be here because you are. I pray as we sing, Father God, we can lift our eyes, our hearts, our hands, all our posture, all that we are towards you. And we thank you, we love you. And all of God's people say, amen. Let's sing. And you guys know the songs, so definitely want you guys to be singing along with me. Here we go. And that is not the key. Let's start that again. person next to you and say, you know you're free, right? You are free. And for freedom, you have been set free. And I am talking, am I? Hey, bro, I'm going to lower the volume here and then maybe put it up there, if that helps. Awesome. If people were to ask you who you are, what would people say? If someone came up to you and said, who is Richard? Who is Adriana? Who is Tony? Now let's say this. What if someone were to ask your significant other, who is your significant other? What would they say? If I were to ask your wife, what would your wife say you are? If I were to ask your friends and your peers, if I were to ask you, if a peer, your best friend, who is so-and-so? Maybe you guys would say, I'm nice. I'm athletic. I'm funny. I'm an artist. There's so many things, right? But my prayer, my hope is when someone asks you who you are, the first thing that comes into mind is, I am a child of God. Why don't you say to your person again, say, I am a child, you're a child of God. We're going to be active today. You are a child of God. No matter what people say about you, you're cool in the eyes of God. Okay? You're awesome in the eyes of God. You are beautiful in the eyes of God. So you are a child of God. Amen? And now we just have to believe it for ourselves as well. So let's sing. Let's I am. I am chosen. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. Yes, I am who you say I am. Yes, I am who you say I am. Who the Son sets free. Oh, I am a child of God. It's in my Father's house, in my Father's. There's a place. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. Amen. You are children of the Most High. I promise you guys, if you guys were to walk around this world, truly believe in that, there would be no room and no space for fear, and worry, and shame and guilt. Knowing that a God who created this world and died for us loves you. Keep saying this word, but unconditionally. There's nothing you can do that he can love you less, and there's nothing you can do where he can love you more. His love for you just is. And that love, for the rest of the days of our lives, we can never know how great that love is for us. And that is something worth fighting for, to know more and more his love, more and more who he is and how he loves us. In the hopes that we worship him with all that we are. And we ask the Spirit to lead us, because we can't do it on our own. So let's sing. And this is my worship. I'll begin. And when he said to jump, I'm diving in. If he said to steal, then I will wait. If he said to trust, I will obey. There you go. I'm done chasing feelings or spirit. Or spirit. It felt like a burden. Once I could go, you took me further than I was asking. And simply to seek you, it's worth it all. My life is an altar that you're fighting for. If you say it's wrong, then I'll say no. If you say please, I'm letting go. If you did it, and when he said to jump, I'm diving in. If you say to steal, then I will wait. If you say to trust, I will obey. Teach me how to follow your ways. I'm done chasing feelings. Spirit. Oh, Spirit, I can't control. I'm here for you, and I give you all. And when no hope is gone, your word is all I got. I'm to believe you still bring water from the Amen. And to be honest, how many of you guys wake up and you're like, God, Spirit, lead me today? It's crazy because it is so simple just to say that. It is so simple just to come to the Word and open our Bible. There's no rocket science to it. But yet, we have trouble with that. To simply say, God, lead me. I know that if I start off my day with you, begin with you leading me, man, my life would be so much better. The things that I struggle with, I won't struggle with, or I'll be able to overcome it. But why? Why don't we do that? And those are the questions we need to ask ourselves. What keeps us from saying, God, lead? Do we think we can handle it on our own? Are we fooled ourselves? Or we have such a busy morning that we just completely forget to acknowledge God? We're just lazy. I mean, there's so many things, right? We're just simply just don't want to. And it's in the forefront of our hearts and our minds. Go to God, come to me. Is that true for everyone? It's there. And we just need to make that choice to say, okay, God, lead. And understand that if we just not lean on our own understanding, but lean on His, He will make something beautiful out of us. Something beautiful out of the day. If we can lean more on His understanding, lean more on Him, and acknowledge that His ways are higher than our own. Like I said, the life that we always talk about. We want to enter into that and live in that life more and more each day. And this song, you guys, it's a new song. And we don't have the lyrics for it. But it's a simple song and a song that you guys can pick up and be able to sing along with me. We just sang about Spirit lead me. But again, like I said, it's that decision every day to do so. So let's sing this song in English. Sing the words and you guys will sing it. I lean not on my own understanding. mountain that we climb of the unknown. Something that you're facing right now. Maybe a mountain that you're climbing in regards to your health. You see, all these things are worth fighting for. They're simply this life in Jesus that we climb. Do you guys know that everything that is worth fighting for is not easy? If you want to get there, you have to work, be intentional. Right now. But I hate putting lotion on my face. I don't know why, but there are things that we face that are worth fighting for, that we climb. But in this verse it says, I will climb this mountain, but with my hands wide open. And if we talk about physically climbing a mountain, do you want to be carrying a lot of luggage, a lot of things? We want our hands to be free and open so that we're most effective in climbing this mountain. So whatever it is for you as we climb, maybe we need to let go of fear, let go of shame, let go of some guilt, let go of being worried. Something you're climbing. And that you want to have your hands wide open and say, God, I'm here to receive. I'm going up. I'm not going to be still. I'm not going down this mountain and give up. But I'm going to go and keep moving forward. And lay all that hinders at your feet. And have my hands wide open. And I will climb this mountain with my hands wide open. I will climb this mountain with my hands wide open. I will climb this mountain with my hands wide open. I will climb this mountain with my hands wide open. I will climb this mountain with my hands wide open. I will climb this mountain with my hands. Nothing I hold on to. There's nothing I hold on to. There's nothing I hold on to. There's nothing I hold on to. 'Cause there's nothing I hold on to. 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 Let's sing I live. I live not on my own understanding. My life is in the hands of the maker of heaven. I live not on my own understanding. My life is in the hands of the maker of heaven. I'll give my all to you, God, trusting God will make something beautiful out of me. Oh, I give it all to you, God, trusting that you'll make something beautiful out of me. Yes, Father God, we want to completely trust in you. And as we climb this mountain of what we're fighting for, it takes complete trust to just walk up and keep moving forward with our hands wide open, knowing that God will be there to pick us up, to grab us before we fall, to pull us towards that next section that we need to climb. Father God, I pray that trust in you and lean on your understanding. Know that you know what you're doing and you know what's best. And just trust. Trust the process. As we fellowship and spend this time with the body. In the name we pray. Amen.
And the Lord saith, let there be light. And there was light. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Hi guys. I think I'm a little loud. Come down just a little bit. No? Yeah? What do you guys think? Good? Good? Okay, I say good. Oh man, how's everyone? Whew. Hungry. Alrighty. Well, you guys have some red pills you can take. I followed through on my promise. All right? So there's, I don't remember what I got. The Boston baked beans, I was just telling someone I hadn't had that since I was like 10 years old, like Boston baked beans, red pill. They're from Chicago, which if I would have known that, I wouldn't have got them. But okay, they're from Chicago. You got cherry lemon heads, or cherry heads. We have cherry Mike and Ike's. What else was out there? And we had blow pops, cherry blow pops, which is kind of like a big pill, right? So now everyone can have the red pill, and we can move into truth together, right? And that's how much I love you guys. You know how much I love you? You know how many different stores I had to go to find all these different ones? Just one, Smart and Final. They had them all. But I went to 2 Smart and Finals, to be honest. But we are taking the red pill. We are moving into truth. And we're going to be continue talking about that more and more. First of all, today is Super Bowl Sunday. Who gets excited for Super Bowl Sunday? Anyone other than me and Mark? Okay. Raise your hand high if you get excited for Super Bowl Sunday. Raise your hand up high if it's just a normal day for you. Just another Sunday. Okay. And then raise your hand if... When did you raise your hand, Joe? You're in the middle. Okay, so it's just another day? Well, that's in the middle. Well, how many of you hate Super Bowl Sunday? You don't like Super Bowl Sunday. It's too much hype. Well, no one doesn't like Super Bowl Sunday. Okay. So we either we really like it or we're like, yeah, it's cool. Good food. And it's about the chili. There's some chili. So I am disappointed with 2 people. I won't mention their names. But it's a love-hate deal. Not love-hate. Good news, bad news. So I was talking to Red last night, and as of last night, there was 3 participants in the chili cook-off. I was one of them, which I was stoked about, because my whole goal is to be in the top 3. And I was like, I have a pretty good chance, all right? We're looking good. And then I got here, and 2 more people made chili, which decreased my chances big time. But I'm excited to taste more chili. So there's good news, bad news kind of deal. But game's exciting. I'm glad Mark's here. I was just thinking. It's not the Super Bowl without Mark, so Mark's here. What's your favorite part of the game, by the way? What's your favorite part of the game? Halftime show. Okay, halftime show. The end? That's awesome. She said the end. My favorite part. What else? The game. Okay, for some of us, it's actually a game. By the way, this is the best day to be a Lions fan. Okay? You're not stressed ever for a Super Bowl. Because Lions not in it, you don't care who wins. It's great. Every single Super Bowl, I'm like, this is going to be a great game. I don't really care who wins. No stress. So, the end for Cindy. What else? The commercials, of course. How many of you guys like the Super Bowl commercials? Wait for the Super Bowl commercials. They're excited about the Super Bowl commercials. Absolutely. And they spend millions. How many Super Bowl commercials did you do this year? surprise. Speaking of money, they spend millions of dollars on these commercials. Millions and millions of dollars on these commercials. Why do they spend millions and millions of dollars on these commercials? Because they work. Because they work. Because they know they're gonna get millions and millions and millions of dollars back. I have this question. I don't know if anyone can remember, but because I can't. But anyone have a favorite Super Bowl commercial? Okay, that's a chip. What about which commercial? Well, which one? Yeah, that's the one I was like, I can't. Those are usually good. The Doritos are usually good. But you know, okay, we'll go with that because that's specific. The horses? No, because that one makes you cry. Trying to watch a football game with all my guy buddies. I'm like, ugh. Okay, using bread to beat up. Okay, Doritos ones are usually good too. I remember one commercial, Doritos, and there was a dog, and it was something crazy. I don't remember. What else? Anyone else? Anyone you can remember, like, distinctly? You guys are having your own Can we be a part of this? What commercial? The which one? Childbirth Doritos. Yes! That one is, okay, those were out there. Yeah. Huh? It was great. I'll tell you about it later. No, it's a childbirth Dorito commercial. It was about childbirth. You know, was it Doritos? You know what commercial I liked? It was the kid builds the time machine and goes into his box. That was a really good one too. All right. Cool. You guys doing commercials. All right. We'll see which ones we'll see this year. But they spend millions of dollars because they know they're going to work. And why do they know they're going to work? Because they spent millions and millions of dollars before they ever made any commercial figuring out how you work. Do you know that the advertising industry on psychology than any other industry in the world? They spend money figuring out how you work so they can make commercials. And this happened, by the way, big time in the 80s, right around the late end of the 80s, early beginning of the 90s. If you guys remember older commercials, they used to have a product, and what would they do with older commercials? Anyone remember? They would tell you about the product. They would tell you, well, let me tell you why our product is better than their product. And they would say, ours has this, 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 and this, and it. Right around the 90s, that started changing. You guys remember any commercial now? There's some out there, but how many commercials do you know now that tell you about the product, actually? What does childbirth and time machines have to do with Doritos? They have nothing to do with them. Like all the commercials we just listed have nothing to do with the product. That's because they started heavily investing in psychology in the 90s, and they figured something out. They figured out before they were just working off of information. If we just give them the right information, they'll buy our product. If we give them the information that our product is better than other people's product, people will buy it. And they spent millions and millions of dollars in psychology, and then they realized, actually, you don't work that way. They found out there's actually deeper parts of you. And they found out that there's actually these deep questions that drive us. There's these deep needs and desires that drive us. And they found out that we all have kind of very similar questions. Questions like, am I lovable? Questions like, what is it like? What does joy look like? How do I find joy? Questions like, how do I find peace? Questions like, what is the good life? How do I find the good life? So they found out that there's something that drives people way more powerful than just information. What do you don't typically see in commercials? Okay, dogs. Okay, people having fun. What? Okay, people being happy, sure. So what do we see in commercials? There's people having fun and just having a grand old time. It's a freaking Clorox commercial, and the kids are running around outside, having fun, and the family and mom's watching, and they're smiling like, what? Does that have anything to do with Clorox? So I need to do that. Why? Because they figured out you have a question. Am I lovable? And they go, you know what we'll do? We'll put famous people. Sorry, guys. That's how they do it, right? Tom Holland! Oh! Wow, just outed your sister, bro. It's not a good microphone there. No. It's just unclipped. I just realized what happened. Unclipping it. Look at this. Someone just went on our YouTube feed and was like, what is he doing? You guys wearing a football shirt. Okay. Program for technical difficulties. All right. Hopefully that'll be better. But they put celebrities in these commercials. And we're sitting around going, I want to be lovable. Oh, look, that person's lovable. And they're wearing Levi's. And look, everybody loves them. Because when they get out of their car, everyone's screaming. Subconsciously, your brain does this. Maybe if I wear Levi's, people will love me too. That's how psychology works. That's how our brains work. And that's why they spend millions of dollars. Peace! I want peace. I know there's kids in the room, so I'll be discreet. But there's this one commercial for a certain adult pill. And it has, and this, here's how the scene ends. Like, I'm like, how does this have anything to do with the product they're selling? Because at the end, it's a man and a woman, and they're in two different bathtubs, and there's like a meadow, and they're outside, and they're in two different bathtubs holding hands in the meadow. Have you guys seen that commercial? What in the world is happening there? What does that have anything to do with anything? Well, they're peaceful. They have peace. They're out in the meadow, in their own bathtub. Maybe I should have how this stuff works. Because all of those commercials, in one way, shape, or form, are telling you this is how you find a good life. Because they know that all the millions they spend on psychology, we're all looking for that. We're all looking for that deep inside. It all happens up here. They spend millions of dollars figuring out how this works. And now they got the passcode. And now they're pulling strings. Because your mind is a powerful thing. Now, let's make something clear. We talk about your heart, we talk about your will, your desires, and then we usually talk about our minds, right? Our understanding. And usually we say things like this, like, my heart, I feel it in my heart. Or we say, my soul, like deep down here, my soul, right? But my mind, my thoughts are up here. Let's be clear, it all happens up here in this brain thing that you have. Your soul, your heart. Romans 12, verse 2, we've looked at this verse over and over again, and we're going to continue reading it over and over again. Paul said, do not be conformed to the pattern of your what? Of the world. Do not be conformed to the pattern of the world. What is that telling you? The world has a pattern. The world is trying to do something to you. The world is trying to answer the deep questions of your life, of your soul, in a certain way. There's one side. Remember the board I drew last week? There's one, which is not just your thinking. When I say mind, you guys say thinking. This is actually the incorporation of all the things that we just talked about. Nous is the incorporation of your understanding, how you think about things, how your information you have, all that. It's your will and your desires, your emotions. It's the deep questions of life. Those are all connected in this one word. Everything is in there. And it says, do not be conformed to the pattern of the world, but there's another way to go, and that's through the Proverbs 4, chapter 23. Who's looking it up on their phone? Okay, Evan, can you put it on, can you look at the message version, but don't read it yet. We'll put it on hold. You're on deck. Okay, Proverbs 4:23, my Christian Standard Bible says, guard your heart above all else, for it is the source of life. Anyone have a different version? Okay, keep your heart with due diligence. Out of it is the issues of life. Anyone else? Gloria? Okay, keep your heart with all, what? Vigilance, because out of it forms the springs of life. What version was that? In our new Revised Standard Version. Okay. Let me give you the Hebrew word there for heart is the word lave, L-A-V-E, lave. And that word is actually a combination word, Hebrew word, that means your mind, your thoughts, your information, plus your heart, plus your emotions, your will, your desire. It is the Hebrew version of nous. So nous is Greek, Hebrew. So we read it as heart, and we think of, oh, my heart. Follow your heart. Oh. But it's not what it's talking about. Better translation is your mind. It's really what it's saying, because it's the same word that's used, and it's the Hebrew equivalent of the word nous, which in Romans 12:2 is renewing of your mind. So what it really says, Evan, message version? Okay, I read a different version. That wasn't the message. He said, I got to think it wasn't the message. Okay, a different version actually gets it right. And it says, guard your mind because it drives your life. Guard your mind because it drives your life. Your mind drives everything. Your mind is the key here. Your thoughts lead to action. Let me tell you how powerful your mind is. You know how powerful your mind is? You guys know how powerful your mind is? Okay, very. That's okay. We're good. Let's move on. It is very, very powerful. It really is. Your mind is sending messages to each other all the time. It sends different messages. Your brain is made up of different parts, and those parts do different things. And it's sending different messages. And there's these special messengers that are actually electrical impulses that send these messages. Anyone know what those are called? What? Close. So neurotransmitters are actually the paths. Someone said it. A neuron. So neurons travel on neural pathways. So neurons. Now, anyone looked at the stars lately? Okay. How many are there? Anyone know how many stars in our galaxy? 37. Close. But no, not really. Billions and billions. There's about 100 billion stars in our galaxy. 100 billion stars. I did last week. No. That's a good question, though. Who does count them? Somebody does. 100 billion stars in our galaxy. You have about 100 billion neurons in your brain. You have the same number, about the same number of neurons in your brain, electrical impulses and chemical transmitters that there are stars in our galaxy. Isn't that crazy? You guys remember Will Smith, Aliens, Men in Black? By the way, as we get older, you get used to that more and more of that happening. So remember, they were looking for the galaxy, and what was the galaxy? You guys remember? It was in the cat's little necklace, the whole galaxy. They were looking for this big thing, but that whole galaxy was in here. The whole galaxy of stars is right in your mind. 100 billion neurons, same amount of stars in our galaxy, going on here, sending electrical impulses all the time. Now, the slowest speed, not the fastest, the slowest speed that these neurons go in your brain from one side of your brain to another is 260 miles an hour. That's the slow. So they're going boom, 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 left and right. fast they go, but they know that they don't go slower than 260 miles an hour. The energy, let me tell you this one first, we'll come back to the energy. Remember, these are electrical impulses going all the time. 1,000 thoughts a day. Some of you are exhausted just by me saying that. Some of you are like, that's only at 11 a.m. Okay, if you're like me, that's 11 a.m. We got a lot more to go. But, can I have someone turn off the lights real quick? With all these thoughts going, 100 billion neurons, 70,000 thoughts, all this stuff going, your brain, because these are all electrical impulses, can actually, this is an 8-watt light bulb. Your brain creates enough electricity to power this light bulb. Right now, your brain is electricity. Yes, you can come up here. You know that? But not just one light bulb. Your brain actually creates enough electricity right now, what's going on in your brain, to light these 2 light bulbs up. There should be more here. But not just 2 light bulbs. Your brain actually creates enough electricity to light all 3 of these light bulbs right now because of all the messages going off right now. About 25 watts. You put these together, it's about 25 watts. Your brain is creating this all the time. Give a hand to Yoshi and Richard. Just unscrew it. Just unscrew it. Just a little bit. Your brain all the time. All the kids woke up for that illustration. That was actually cool. We did something cool for once at church. Okay. That's your brain. That's your mind. It's a powerful, powerful thing. And it drives your life. That's why the Bible talks so much about your mind. In Proverbs 23:7, it says, so a man thinketh, so he is. Philippians 4:8 says, whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, think. Put your mind upon these things. 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, take every thought captive, because your thoughts lead the way. Your thoughts lead the way. Famous saying, Frank Lubo, I can't remember his last name, said this, watch your thoughts because they become your words. Watch your words because they become actions. Watch your actions because they become habits. Watch your habits because they become your character. And watch your character because it becomes your destiny. And it all started with your thoughts. And you know what the Super Bowl ads are going to do later on? In every ad you've ever seen, they're just putting thoughts inside your brain. Because they know it's going to lead to action. You're going to go buy their product. And then you're going to buy more of their product. It's going to become a habit. And then you're going to do it more and more and more. Because thoughts are powerful. Because your mind is powerful. So the question is, if thoughts are so powerful, if your mind is so powerful, what thoughts you got going on in there? That's a scary question. If you're like me, all of you are like, oh, they ain't ready for this. I wanted to say they ain't ready for this jelly, but I stopped. But then I guess I said it. But what thoughts are driving your life? What thoughts about the good life? What thoughts about God are driving your life? That's what I said earlier. How do you see yourself? And he's talking about questions of identity, deepest questions. Who am I? And he said we have to see ourselves as a child of God. The next step after that is, what does that mean to you? What thoughts do you have when you talk about being a child of God? Is that just something you say, some Christianese we hear? Or do you really think that? And what does it mean to think that? What do you think about God? Our thoughts. Those thoughts drive your actions. Those thoughts drive your attitude. Those thoughts drive your fears. Fears, right? We all have fears. We all have anxiety. Where do they come from? Your thoughts. Your thoughts of what if they usually destructive actions. It's just thoughts. I think the most important question in life is, what do you think about when you think about God? So that's at the top of the list. What do you think about when you think about God? Then it goes down to those questions. By the way, the questions that I said, the advertiser already figured this out. Maybe you're here and you're like, oh, I've never heard that before. The advertiser figured that out in the 90s and 80s, 70s. So they've already given you, and they will continue giving you their answers to the questions of, how do I find peace? How do I find joy? How do I find love? How do I find this? How do I find that? How do I find the good life? The question is, the question is for you. Here's what matters. What do you think about how to find peace? What do you think about how I find joy and happiness? Not what you say to your Christian brothers and sisters. Not what you should say to your pastor. What do you really think about these things? We're going to talk about trust a little bit next week. And in my group and a couple of others, I was talking about, like, people say, I trust in God, I trust in God. You don't tell me how you live. Let me observe your life, how you spend your money, how you spend your time, how you spend it, how you do this, how you do that. And I will tell you who to put in your trust in. You don't get to say it. Oh, I trust in God. No, you don't. You say you trust in God. That's as far it gets. And I'm not saying that in any negative way to put anybody here down or to make you feel ashamed or guilty or anything. I'm just saying you're missing out. You're missing it. Because if we can get our thoughts on the truth and we can find happiness, maybe I haven't told anybody, but I really don't think this God is the way. I really think this is how you find happiness. Actions will trust. Where do they really believe you find peace? In money. If someone says, oh, God, I love God, but you're in their life and they're dating a new person every other week for the last 18 years, where do they really believe they find love? Their thoughts are, I find love through people. We do this for all of us all day long. It's a scary, scary thing to do. But it's where we start with our awakening. Because we go, oh, I didn't even know I was being a slave to that thought. But that thought's been driving me. I don't want it to drive me anymore because it's gotten me nowhere. So we're aware, and then we evaluate. Okay, now I'm aware that this is what my thoughts are about happiness, joy, peace, the good life. Now I got to evaluate. Is that working for me? Is the life that Jesus offers? If not, I got a question. And then we transfer over to the most important question. What are my thoughts about God? And then we evaluate. Is that right? Is that biblical? Where did I get these thoughts? And these are things we've been talking about. And we just go on this journey. And we're all on this journey together. And we're all in different places of the journey. We're going to continue moving forward with our journey. It's my journey too. How many years is this the Super Bowl that we're together? Anyone know? This is our 5th Super Bowl. No, you're right. It's our 5th Super Bowl together. Okay? How many times have I wore a jersey to preach on Super Bowl? This is my first time. You want to know why? So I would do this, yes, because I'm free to a degree. Because I since I first had my jersey, like Super Bowl, you wear your jersey, even if your team's not in it, which rarely happens for me, but even if your team's not in it, you wear your jersey, right? That's kind of like Super Bowl. And so when we started here, I would see on Super Bowl people wearing their jerseys. And I would always bring my jersey. And then it was like, okay, right after I was done with preaching, I would go and change and put on my jersey. Why? Because you can't preach wearing a football jersey. That thought was embedded in my head. You guys know you're supposed to be. And I find myself preaching things like, oh, come as you are. God loves you as you are. But did I believe that? No. It was the right thing to say. But I didn't really think that. And so on this journey of myself, learning who God is. Does he really care about what I wear? Does he give this? And you know, there's, yeah, you don't want to show up in a football jersey at a funeral or what. Like, there's appropriate things, right? In fact, maturity, that's what we used to always say, here's what maturity looks like. Doing the right thing at the right time in the right place. But it's been my journey of what do I think about God? And I've been going on this journey, and I've been growing, and I've been learning who God is and who he isn't. And my thoughts about God have been changing through the scriptures, through other godly people, through historical context. I've gotten to the point where I don't think God really cares if I wear a football jersey when I'm sharing his word on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't think he's a God that cares about that. I think he's got way other things to care about. And so for me, that's been part of my jersey. So today, I wasn't going to wear my jersey. Because, like Peter, it's not easy to make that transition. And I went back and forth. Should I wear it? Should I not? Should I wear it? I think that would be okay. And then there was a point where I was like, no. I really do think this about God. I do think he's gracious and loving and so on and so forth. I'm going to wear my jersey. And yes, Gino, it was free. And it's freeing right now. And not only is it freeing for me, it's freeing of the God that I have put in a box. Today, I'm happy to share with you, God broke out of one of my boxes. My thoughts have changed. And therefore my actions have changed. And this is the journey. It took me 5 years for me to put on a jersey. Because thoughts are powerful. Because that thought was planted to me years and years and years ago. And I've taken hold. This is what the journey looks like. It's not about being perfect tomorrow. It's not about figuring out the thoughts out tomorrow. It's not about a formula, having the right. It's about continually being aware, awakening to the thoughts that I do have, awakening to the idea that those thoughts are controlling me, and I'm a slave to them. Then evaluating, are those thoughts really working for me? Or do those thoughts, do they line up with who God is in here? The God that I know, the God that the scriptures speak of, the God that I see in Jesus? And then getting to the point where this is the red pill. I want the truth. I want to live in reality. I'm tired of the fake. I'm tired. And we're going to talk about sometimes that is harder than living in the fakeness, living in the false world. But it's always freer. It's always more joyful. It's always more peaceful. And that's all Jesus says. And next week we're going to talk about all the ways Jesus does that. How he says, let me transform your thoughts. Here's what you thought. Now I'm giving you a new thought. And let's work with this. And we're going to talk about how that process happens in your mind and how all this stuff works. As we continue forward, we're going to continue doing these. And then we're going to get specific on some of those thoughts. Like, what does it mean that you're a child of God? We're going to break that down. What does all this stuff look like? And we're going to continually leading by the scriptures in your thoughts. And we're going to do it in a healthy way, one step at a time. We're all on this journey together, but we all have our own paths. And so your problem might not be wearing a football jersey to church. But maybe there's another thought that needs to change. Yeah. But I'm excited for myself because I'm telling you, there's freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. That is no lie. And Jesus came to bring freedom and joy and peace in the good life. Our thoughts hold us captive. And so, by the way, then we can enjoy the world he's given us as well. And we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks as well. But Philippians 4:8, what did it say? Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, think about these things. And so as we go on teacher knows you and genuinely loves you. That's where I walked away when she was hugging you, and I was like, man, Lena loves these kids. And then I was thinking, she's their teacher, right? But what's the greatest thing any of us, myself included, can teach? It's not my words up here, right? It's not the Bible lesson. The greatest thing we can teach is love through our actions. And I was thinking, man, we haven't sent any of our teachers to classes and to figure out how to be good teachers and everything, but they are the best teachers these kids can have, because they literally love the kids. Not just I love them like a Christian, like they actually love them, they know them, they love them. And I was like, oh, that was so cool. That was a cool thought I had today. That was true, noble, right? What is it like to continue on with our day and look at each other, and we're going to get into prayer groups right now, and just be like, oh, you can pray with people who know you and care for you, and you just kind of, you can do this, and there's air conditioning, and it's nice, and that's pure and right. And then later on, we're going to go and taste some chili, and I have a feeling one of them is going to be better than the other four, but at least top three, that's for sure. But as you take a bite, right, just think about, like, you know the person who made it, and that person made it with love and coming together and watching the game, and just all that. Just enjoy. Tony and I were just, I'm going to start rambling now, but Tony and I were just talking outside about, sorry, I was talking to Tony, but I messed that up. Evan and I were talking outside, and he was just sharing, but it actually involves Tony and Lorena too, in a different way. But Evan was sharing how just did nothing yesterday and just hung out and enjoyed the day. And we were talking about it's paradise. It's paradise. It's beautiful and good. And I know Tony and Lorena had a similar time this last weekend. And last night, we went to the beach, and it's right there in front of us. The good life. Right there in front of us. We just have to learn to take it in. We just have to put our thought on it and think about the good all around us. Is there bad in our lives? Absolutely. Is there? Sure. Is that ocean have contaminants in it? And sure. I get it. I get it. We're in a broken world still. But there's beauty all around us. There's paradise all around us. We just have to learn how to put our thoughts to it. And the same thing with God. So much better than you ever imagined. It's so much better. We just have to put the right thoughts in our heads. That'll translate to action. That'll lead to freedom and fullness. That's our journey. And I hope everyone now, depending on or not depending anymore on your taste buds, because I think I covered the spectrum. So now we're all ready to take the red pill. So let's break up this quick 2 announcements. Men's gathering this week. Thursday, we do have youth group this Friday. We may or may not have a parent meeting. We're going to have all the parents come together. I'm going to share some things. I may have got my dates mixed up, so I'll talk to Adriana. She'll set me straight, and then